Well, hello. I'm Martin Leifeld, and in this 5-minute for fundraising video series, I want to examine with you some thoughts about how much. How much should we ask for with a major gift? It's something we've got to get clear on. We can't go in and ask for nothing, and we don't want to go in and simply say, "Would you please help?" and leave the number up to the donor or the prospect. No, we want to come in with a number very clear. And so we need to be thinking about the nature of the relationship with the donor. I think we should begin there. Well, what is the nature of the relationship that we have with this donor or this prospect? How well do they know our organization? Are they closely associated? Do they have a long history of support? Have they not given before and we just hope to introduce ourselves to them? Do they volunteer with our organization? Do they give annually or sporadically? Have they given major gifts in the past? What have they given to your organization? What have you given them in return as recognition and as expressions of gratitude? Is recognition important to them? Or would they prefer more or less anonymity? Are they willing to be a gift in the front end of a campaign or an initiative so that they can be an example of leadership and set the pace for success for your organization? Or are they more reticent and looking to follow what others have done? So we need to think about the nature of the relationship, who this donor or this prospect is, as a way to begin to gauge what it is we want to ask for. Then we think about our case for support. Well, what is it that we're asking for? What is it? Is it a broad campaign with many opportunities to support? Is it a particular narrow focus like a scholarship program or a building or a renovation? Or is it for a specific program or maybe an urgent or emergent need? All of this has to do with understanding what it is we want as we gauge what this donor might be willing to do. So the more closely we can align the donor's interests and what it is we want to ask the donor to support, the better chance for a positive outcome. The closer it is to their interest, the more likely they want to support and perhaps support at a higher level. Is this a major gift in the sense of a special gift, or are you talking to these donors for perhaps something that's more of a legacy in orientation, an ultimate gift, an estate gift? So that what you're asking them to address is something in terms of the long-term future of your organization. This has terrific bearing. What is the age of the donor? Where are they in terms of just the cycle of life? These kinds of questions are worth considering as we hone in on what it is we want to do. Now, what is their capacity and what is their affinity to your organization? If it's high capacity, high affinity, you should have confidence to ask for a goodly amount. On the other hand, if it's lower capacity or a lower affinity, you may need to moderate the amount of money you would hope to ask for and to receive. Now, this kind of encounter where we're trying to ask for significant funds from someone has to be face-to-face. You have to be in front of them one or perhaps many times in order to secure a major gift. And this can't be done in less direct ways. Telephone, you don't want to conclude a gift with a telephone call, if at all possible. While email can be a part of some of the negotiations, you don't want to depend on email or certainly letters. You want to do this work face-to-face as much as you can, because you're asking for a sizable sum that requires a gift of greater significance from this donor or this prospect, and it deserves your time and energy, and you want to require their time and energy, their involvement as they consider this gift and give it the kind of seriousness that you hope that they would. Now, you've heard perhaps from other videos where I've talked about the use of floors, establishing floors in a fundraising program and for a fundraising project. You probably have heard me talk about how I'll use gifts that others have given, that peers have given. So if there's some substantial gifts that peers of this donor or prospect have given to your campaign, you want to talk about them, of course, with permission from those donors. You want to talk about their leadership and what they've done, and that way you can ask this donor or this prospect to step forward and to join them in exercising leadership, to join with their peers in the community and fellow supporters of this project to help get this important purpose accomplished, to truly be champions for your cause. I remember an old veteran of many a campaign, and we were talking about fundraising one day, and I said, well, we kind of had a discussion about this, and he'd say, well, you know what, Martin, I would always ask for twice what I thought they would do, because usually people would come in at about half of what I'd asked for. Well, that puzzled me and gave me quite a bit of thought over the years. That's why I'm sharing it with you. Does that make sense? Perhaps it does in certain cases. What I prefer to do is to begin with the relationship, to think about the relationship, to think about the purpose for which we're going to this donor, and then knowing that if they have a high capacity, certainly reach to the higher end of the spectrum for my solicitation. I don't want to ask for something that's beyond what I believe their capacity is, nor do I want to ask for such an unrealistic number that they might be dismissive because we don't have the basis of a relationship for such a large number. Also, you have to bear in mind proportionality. If it's $1 million project and you want to raise money through the support of a number of donors, asking for a lead gift of $1 million is disproportionate. So you have to think about that. Maybe you ask for a 50% gift or a 25% lead gift, or would they join a series of 10% or 20% donors that are helping you get to that $1 million goal? So proportionality is something to think about. I do believe that there's power in large numbers, that what numbers we use are powerful. So we don't go in don't ask for some range, go in and ask for a number. Then negotiate. Number of years, the nature of the gift, outright, paid over time, deferred, a combination thereof. But large numbers raises the sight of donors and challenges donors to stretch and to evaluate their relationship with you, the value they place on your organization, and actually using larger numbers can raise that kind of commitment and raise that kind of support and bonding between you and that donor. So don't be afraid of large numbers, but make them sensible, realistic in the context of what that relationship is. Well, I wonder what you think about this topic. We all have to figure out how much we're going to ask for, then we have to have the courage to go ask for it, then we have to be willing to negotiate, and so on and so forth. It's the heart of what we do as fundraisers. We have to ask for the order. We have to set the number in front of a donor and then watch the donor respond, react, wrestle with what it is we're asking for. We have to be courageous in that sense. We have to be persistent. We have to be plain and clear in what we're asking of a donor. And then we work with the donor and we arrive, hopefully, at some positive outcome through this exchange, through this initiative of ours and on behalf of our great organizations. So what do you think about this? I would like to know. Please go to the forum. I'd like to have a discussion with you about it at martinleifeld.com. And I want to thank you very much for viewing and listening to this video today. Thank you so much.